Hey guys, what's going on? After watching some YouTube videos, I decided to go to Harbor Freight yesterday and pick up one of the 20-gallon parts washers that there have been videos and reviews on, and they were out. So I went home and decided I'd go to Tractor Supply website and make sure that they did have some of the PSC 1000 solvent before I went there and check and see if they had a parts washer also, because I know that the one at Harbor Freight, they also have at Walmart and Tractor Supply, I know Rallies and some other places. So while I was on the website, I noticed that they had this. So this is still a 20-gallon parts washer, but it comes with a cart with casters, and it looks like a little better cart with some handles. So I immediately went onto YouTube to see if there were any reviews, and I couldn't find anything. So I figured that I would make a quick video just showing it, so if anybody else was interested, they could see what they were getting. This is a little more money. I think the regular one's about $100 and this one's about $150. So I don't know if it's worth the extra $50 for the different cart and the casters, but for me it was. So I don't have to build a cart. I kind of need something that's ready right now because I have a big project over here. The old Firebird, and my old parts washer is really not cutting it. So with that, I normally use Purple Power, and I'd like to step it up to regular solvent. So I'm going to open the box up, and then I'll be back with you. Alright, so I've got all the parts out of the box. This isn't really an unboxing, it's just to kind of give you an idea how much assembly is required. So here's the box. It's got some styrofoam and cardboard, a little bit of bubble wrap, about what you'd expect. We've got a shelf, another shelf. There's the tray that go inside the tub, little plastic tub with a box in it with casters and hardware. There's the pieces to make the stand, and here's the parts washer itself. It's pretty big. It looks bigger than what it seemed like on the internet with the other 20 gallons, but the dimensions are the same. I think the height was a little bit lower, or maybe it's identical. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. You can compare online if you want to. This one is 28.2 by 19 by 7.9. So I think that 7.9 was actually bigger with the other one that's used for regular Harbor Freight. But the pump does look different. It seems to be a smaller box, a lower profile holder for the pump. And that's about it. So I'll get it together, and then I'll start the video back up. Alright, so I've got it assembled. It went together pretty easily. The instructions weren't great, but they don't really need to be. It's a pretty simple thing to put together. One thing to note that I kind of missed, even though it was in every single paragraph, is not to tighten all the bolts when you first put it together, because there's nothing really to keep the thing square, and you'll end up with it really wobbly after it's put together. But so I loosened all the bolts at the end and kind of put some weight on it and tightened everything back up, and it's pretty good. It's still got a little wobble, but I'm sure once we fill it up with 10 gallons of solvent, it'll flatten out. One thing I did differently is I put the casters on a little earlier than it recommended. It had them at the very end, so after you had the whole thing assembled, it said to put the casters on. But I went ahead and put the casters on after I had the bottom two shelves on, just so I wouldn't have to flip the whole thing over. These are the leftover parts. One of each bolt that was used, one extra nut, and a handful of washers. These are the tools I used to put together. I've got a 3/4 inch open-end wrench, a 14mm ratcheting wrench, and a 13mm ratcheting wrench. I don't know that they were actually metric. I didn't try any standard ratchets to fit because I only have ratcheting wrenches and metric, so that's what I used. It worked fine. So here's the tray. One thing I like about this tray compared to the ones I saw on YouTube is that it is a full-size tray. It doesn't only come to about here, so that's pretty nice. The pump does seem to be a little lower profile than the other one. I think the other one came up a little higher. It still has this spring-loaded lid shock thing that I guess, I don't know, I saw in one video where if it gets hot, it's supposed to close automatically if there's a fire or something. So if you look down here, there is a drain at the bottom right here, and This tray has some holes in the bottom, and it's actually bent so that that's the lowest point. So I guess if you were to clean parts and then set them on this tray, they would drain, and the excess would go into this little drawer, which would be nice for keeping fluid off the bottom shelf, I guess, and easier for cleanup. So I guess that's about it. I'll go ahead and pour some solvent in it, and hopefully that'll keep it from rocking, and then we'll cut it on and see how it does. Alright, I put the full 10 gallons of the solvent in there, and you can see the water is just above the pump. It's set in the manual to make sure it stays above the inlet. So I'll plug the power and I guess it's ready, so I'll cut it on. It looks like it's working, so I'll find a dirty metal part and put on some gloves, and we'll give it a try. And I did want to mention real quick, since I brought it up, that after putting the fluid in it, the cart definitely sits flat on the ground now. Still rolls around pretty nicely. So here's intake manifold from the Pontiac 400 out the Firebird. So I've already hit it with the pressure washer a while back just to knock the big stuff. I had a lot of oil and dirt build up on it, but there's still a lot of surface oil. Needs to come off before I can paint it. So I've got a couple different brushes here that I bought from Harbor Freight in a little 5-pack a while back. I think it was probably like $5 or something. I don't know if the plastic will hold up to the solvent, but it didn't break down after 5 minutes, so we'll see how it goes. So I guess I'll cut it on and give it a try. Alright, so overall the parts washer does work really well. I'm really happy with the solvent. I think that's the biggest difference, because I was using water-based Purple Power before. But as the only, I guess, learning curve or thing that maybe I need to change about it is it does squirt a lot of fluid out, so it's easy for it to splash out the tank, which I saw that with other ones on videos online also. So might come up with some of that, but really if I just cut it on for a second every now and then to kind of wet the surface after I've been scrubbing it, it works really well, so I may just do it like that. So I hope this was helpful. I'm really happy with it. It seems to be a good construction. It's real sturdy. Even on casters while I was washing stuff, I didn't have trouble with the cart moving around. So thanks for watching.